back to the Lost Cause Ranch. We got the Defender chassis behind us. We have the 430 horsepower LS3 crate engine straight from GM waiting to go in this guy. What happens with 430 horsepower in a Land Rover? It's probably gonna break some stuff. So first, we got these chromoly axle shafts. So let's get some axle housings cleaned up today so we can get these guys in those and underneath this guy.
Pull it back off and rip the bearing and the seal on the back.
Oh, okay. There you go. So here was a top tip from Ted. Nut back on and just pull the rear bearing out via the nut. The separate bearing and race deal is before my time, so haven't done a whole lot of these. But also, probably shouldn't have that much rust popping out of that, so good thing we're going through these. So the third member is out. Got to stick the limited slip in that. Housing is bare. Got our little bits off, hubs blown apart. We're gonna take some of the small stuff and throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner for the first go round. A lot of the stuff will get tossed. We don't need the ABS rings. We have new spring seats. We'll be using some new hardware, but we'll reuse some of that, I believe. We'll get the spindle cleaned up, hubs cleaned up. But we're gonna go on to the front axle so we can get these two outside and pressure washed off and then get to cleaning them up. We're also to the point where we can probably toss this pile of stuff away. That's all the OE stuff and parts we aren't gonna use from the Discovery 2 that we LS swapped. But gotta keep it around until it's running. Superstition, I guess. So we're on to the front one. A little more complicated with the swivel balls and everything. Just got more going on, but we'll get this ripped apart. You may be able to hear in the background the ultrasonic cleaner going. A little bit annoying. Oh well. I'm not sure if the camera caught it there when we opened this guy up, but it drained some water. It's not supposed to have water in it, but it's all gooey. Well, that's splendid. We just broke the old snap-on T40. Luckily, came back out. So I'll have to grab another. So got both the axles all blown apart. Third member for the front one out. Mess of stuff right there. Got the axle shafts and everything there, swivel balls. We'll take the hubs apart, but we're gonna start throwing all that stuff into the ultrasonic cleaner. And here is the rear stuff after one go around. That came out pretty nice for no effort. That's one of my favorite tools. So got quite the mess sitting here. There's the empty axle housings. It is quite cold today, like -6 out. I want to pressure wash those off, but I want to do it outside. So we're going to wait until tomorrow probably, where it's 30 degrees. That seems better to be playing with water outside. But for now, we'll get all this mess picked up, swept up, clean the floor. So you can hear it, we got the swivels in there going. Got some more hardware and hardware in there. That's just the first round of cleaning, but that was a pretty nice job. All right, so we're just out here needling on these. Ted just did all the wire wheeling, and we're just using this guy to kind of tickle the rust off. Just a little Harbor Freight jobber, and it just beats the rust up. So we got everything needled, wired wheeled, and sprayed off. Just about ready to throw some new finish on them. Have our axles in our little spray booth back here. They're just about ready to spray. We're gonna Scotch-Brite these guys up, wipe them down, put some primer on them, and I think they will look pretty nice. Before we do that though, on the front, we're gonna take that guy and spread the radius arm mounts out a little bit, just so we aren't struggling with the new radius arms and the poly bushings. Sometimes they're a little fatter and hard to slide in. So we're gonna knock these guys out just a hair so they slip in, and they'll cinch back tight once you bolt the arms on. So we're obviously gonna replace all the wheel bearings in this guy as well. So we're gonna take the hubs and pound the old races out now. Then we can get these painted. So we have everything all coated, and we'll take a look at those in just a second, but here's our little spray shelter. It's a HomeRite jobber. Got this thing on Amazon for like 40, 50 bucks, and it works awesome for doing small parts like axles and whatnot. I'll toss that in the description down below if you could use one. I love this little guy. Keeps the overspray off everything else in the shop. And here it is, all packed away for when you're not using it. So we got the housings and everything all finished up. Got our hubs and whatnot refinished as well. Everything is looking nice now. It'll look good sitting under that chassis. Got the chromoly bits there. We have one issue though. Let's go look at that issue. Got the swivel balls off and cleaned up, and both sides are pretty pitted. We were kind of expecting that, but wanted to get them off and make sure before we ordered new ones. So we have a set coming from across the pond, and those should be here next week. While we were at it, we went ahead and just ordered 4 new stub axles so we can have some nice new shiny bits to go on the end of these guys. So this is where all this will sit until next week. On the third members, Ted got the new bearings and everything in, got the front one put back together. And the rear, we got the Ashcroft ATB sitting in there and got the gears meshed back together. So these two are good to go to get them in those. Here's the factory open diff, the old peg leg. Right there's some traction. While we were in there painting, we got the front radius arms switched over from gold to, this is some U-Paul Raptor lining and a nice gray finish. That coupled with the black is going to be our 2 undercarriage colors on this guy. So we'll have accent color of gray with the majority of the bits underneath going black. Should look pretty spiffy under the new chassis. So that is where we sit on the Defender today. Next video on here, we'll get the axles all slammed together. Once we get the swivel balls and everything else, then we get to throw everything underneath that galvanized chassis and get this thing rolling. Then we get to stab this guy in there. That is the 430 horsepower LS3, 6-speed automatic transmission. It's gonna be good. So that's all for today. Appreciate you guys watching. If you are enjoying these videos on the Defender, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe. It's the only way we can tell if it's something you wanna watch. We'll catch you on the next one.